How many of you are a fan of Lord of the Rings? Well, if you are, this video is about to get exciting for you. Do you know who's been cast in the role of the Black Elf? Do you know what criticism the cast is facing for playing this role? The new season is out soon. Keep watching to find out about Lord of the Rings. Ismael Cruz Cordova reveals a vicious backlash since his Rings of Power casting. Firstly, how is the Lord of the Rings presented in Tolkien's Second Age? First, let's dig in about how the Rings of Power will send chills down your spine this season. Amazon Prime Video is currently making a comeback in Middle-earth. Fans will be introduced to an entirely new age of narrative when The Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power premieres on September 2nd. The J.R.R. Tolkien world features characters played by people of color for the first time in Lord of the Rings, The Rings of Power on Amazon Prime Video. Ismael Cruz Cordova plays the Sylvan elf Arondir and is a member of the Rings of Power cast. The Rings of Power TV series will concentrate on the Second Age rather than adopt the already written plot like The Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit. This will be new and exciting for the fans. In the current show season, Cruz Cordova plays Arondir, an elf forbidden in love with human Bronwyn Nazanin Boniadi. Tolkien divided the three main eras in his stories. The Third Age, which is the era most fans are familiar with, is where The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings are set. The epic First Age is described in the Silmarillion, which spans from the beginning of time through the defeat of the wicked Morgoth. At the same time, Tolkien has set a thrilling plot for the fans. He's introduced characters known as people of color. The actors faced a vicious backlash, but one of them was objectified the most, which is rude. Let's find out how the actor survived the criticism on screen. Up next, how did Arondir have a struggling casting journey? Ismael Cruz Cordova, who plays Arondir in The Rings of Power, discusses his arduous, months-long audition journey worthy of The Lord of the Rings. Cruz currently confesses that his procedure wasn't too different from the character's journey in The Rings of Power. Cruz discusses his casting process for the show in a recent appearance on Jimmy Kimmel Live, claiming that it took several auditions over the period of several months and many locations. We would have already given up if we were in his place, wouldn't we? But Cruz kept thriving for the role again and again. After describing his difficulties in sending his self-tape audition from a remote South African community with no Wi-Fi, the actor discloses that he ended up turning down the role multiple times. Cruz, on the other hand, received an unexpected call to see the producers in New Zealand, where he excelled in his in-person audition. One of his improvised elements even made it into the final performance. Cruz was most likely up against dozens of many other actors out for the role, and while his casting procedure was anything but simple, his efforts certainly paid off in the end. Cruz had a difficult time getting the part of Arondir in The Rings of Power, but he definitely put a great deal of effort into the process. It's sad, though, that his casting has sparked racial outrage online, with a small group of angry fans criticizing The Rings of Power for casting a non-white person to portray the role of an elf. A source confirms that the actor reveals, "I even got some rejections for the role, but I still kept going for it because I knew there was going to be disruption. In my career, my mission has been to occupy these spaces and put myself on the front lines. I have no problem doing that, so I did expect this." So, why is Arondir a big deal for The Lord of Rings, The Lord of Power? We got to know that Ismael Cruz Cordova is a very struggling actor. We can't help but wonder what makes him special in the role of Arondir. And what is a big deal for The Lord of Rings, The Lord of Power? Let's find out. Ismael's Arondir is important for two reasons. He's the first black elf to appear in any version of Tolkien's literature. Second, Arondir's tale with human healer Bronwyn, which is played by Nazanin Boniadi, echoes Tolkien's deeply touching love stories with Beren and Luthien and Aragorn and Arwen. Together, these elements contribute to the creation of a crucial character whose journey is emotional, fascinating, and moving for the fans to love. This is taking Ismael's career to new heights as Arondir emerges as a massive character in the Lord of the Rings world. While the character proved to be a big asset for the show and developed great recognition, Cruz reveals that his Instagram DMs were filled with racist hate speech after taking the role. Keep watching to find out about the hate that Ismael Cruz Cordova received for struggling to play the Black Elf in The Rings of Power. Coming right up, how did Ismael Cruz Cordova receive vicious backlash since his Rings of Power casting? Did Ismael Cruz Cordova know that he would have to face critique because of playing this role? The answer is yes. Ismael Cruz Cordova reveals that he understood his role as a black elf in Amazon's Lord of the Rings series, The Ring of Power, would be treated with criticism, but it only made him desire it more. He sure had lots of guts to face the world. He claims he's been subjected to a daily barrage of pure and vicious hate speech online for the past 2 years, coinciding with the announcement of the Prime Prime Video show's cast. Ismael Cruz Cordova was selected as the first Latino elf in the Tolkien franchise back in 2020, and as the actor just disclosed, he's been tied to the Lord of the Rings since then. He claims that he's been subjected to a daily barrage of pure and vicious hate speech online for the past 2 years. I took this role specifically. I'm a fan, and for a lot of reasons. One of them was that I knew this was going to happen. Cruz informs the Deadline about the racism he faced. Cordova's remarks come amid a flurry of online review bombing by fans, some of whom have attacked the show for its diverse cast. Up next, how is Ismael Cruz Cordova handling the hate speech against him? Up till now, we got to learn a lot from Ismael Cruz Cordova. He seems to be a man made of steel. We wonder how he's facing the backlash against him. The stars reveal that despite the criticism, he will not back down in the face of racist hatred. That's a lot of courage. Bravo, more power to you. The rising star has chosen not to take the criticism personally, instead channeling it into his act. He confirms to a source that, "I fought so hard for this role for this very reason." Since the show's debut, the trolling directed against the performers has evolved into a review bombing campaign for the series. Despite critical success with a Rotten Tomatoes rating of 84%, the series' current audience rating is 39%. Because of inconsistencies like this, Amazon quietly placed a 72-hour hold for Rings of Power evaluations on its Prime Video site, according to Variety. Every comment must now be examined to confirm its authenticity. In any case, Cordova has always stated that he's in it for the long haul. Lastly, is The Lord of the Rings still a hit? According to reports, Amazon's Lord of the Rings series is the most expensive TV show ever filmed. But the question is, will it still be a hit after fans have opinionated views about the series? The Rings of Power, which premiered in September, promises plenty of spectacular battles. However, some of the most heated debates around the Amazon Entertainment series have occurred off-screen. Middle-earth enthusiasts and historians like Morse have argued in online forums and op-eds about whether casting non-white actors to improve the new series is a dishonor of Tolkien's original concept. The debate can get heated because Lord of the Rings fans are very opinionated about anything Middle-earth. Some enthusiasts even wonder if Tolkien was indeed a racist. But what price will it pay for casting non-white performers in lead roles? One of the most intriguing narrative surprises in the following months will be how fans react. Whatever happens, the argument about diverse casting will place a shadow over this much-anticipated season. People become fans of fantasy books, movies, and television shows in part because they provide an escape from the cruel divisions of our prosaic daily lives. However, the show's legacy will still carry on because of its epic storyline. So that's it for today. If you liked this video, do not forget to leave a like and make sure that you're subscribed to the channel and hit the notification bell so that you won't miss out on any video of ours. Make sure you comment and let us know about your views on Ismael Cruz Cordova playing the Black Elf in The Lord of Power. Thanks for watching.